Hey, good to see y'all. Caesar Stone Man rolling again. So, in today's video, I know it's been a long time and I just be here and I be gone, but I think I'm finally gonna come back to this channel and start it for real and be dedicated to it. I know I say that every time, but I mean that. Really, this time I wanna be here, I wanna stay consistent. So, and whether I'm consistent or not, here's another video for y'all. It's good to see y'all again. This one here is: are you spiritually awake? Are you spiritually awake? Are you thinking spiritually? Are you awake spiritually? You know, it's like, wake up, you spiritual sleepers. That's what I'm gonna call this one. Wake up, you spiritual sleepers. Because goodness gracious, I be walking around, I be on my job, and I work at a stadium. And so, like just today we had a whole, a monster truck thing. It's all the same worship stuff. But they're doing this thing where they're in there, and I see all these people walking through, and they are spiritually dead. I mean, they're just dull inside. They're barely even there. And I'm looking at these people, and you gotta believe plenty of these people are gonna. I mean, with the number of people coming in and out here, plenty of these people are gonna claim to be Christian, coming to see some of the devil's media. All this 666 Monster Energy drink advertisement stuff, and you got all these people coming in and out, experiencing this, and paying for this, paying for the devil's service. And naturally I'm kind of here protecting it. So I gotta, throw myself a little bit of, heat for that. But it's like, at the same time, this is the devil's media. These people are paying to come see, and they aren't even thinking on that level. They're just thinking, happy timing, just happy, getting some entertainment. These people are fools. These people don't even realize that this is giving demons rights over them. There are going to be demons following them home, invading their lives, using that they paid for this event as a right to be there, harming them, as a right to be there, tempting them, as a right to be there, leading them toward destruction. People are spiritually asleep. They are asleep to the spiritual realm and the truth and reality of it all. Listen, whether or not you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, whether or not you believe in Buddha or whoever you might want to pray to, listen, at the end of the day, there is a spiritual realm. The CIA has this is something our government body even backs. The CIA, I believe, has done research on it, on the astral realm. This is not just conspiracy theory mumbo jumbo. I forget what document it is. But they did a project. They did a specific project where they were testing, a human being, a human spirit leaving its body, entering into the astral realm and coming back. And there's a binaural beats. If you look into binaural beats, you'll find out about that. But they had something about the Monroe Project. There we go, the Monroe Project. The CIA did this whole thing where they figured out how to have a system of getting a human spirit out of its body and into the astral realm. There are realms of matter that are existent. There are realms of molecules that exist beyond this physical realm. It's called antimatter. Science even backs this. Is why CERN is working with this so much. Sorry, that's my cat. No, but this is why CERN is working with antimatter so much, because they're trying to bring the devil here. They're trying to bring the old gods back. They're trying to rematerialize these individuals. Some science for y'all, so y'all get just a little bit of science. Hang with me in here, you dropouts. Listen, so a little bit of the science is that we are matter, right? But we have a little bit of antimatter to us. They call that a spirit, if you will. There's some small portion of antimatter to us. Likewise, spirits are mostly made of antimatter, but they have just a little bit of matter to them. That's why when they materialize, you see those horror movies where you get a demon knocking over a cup or something. They can materialize, they can focus on the material aspect of them and materialize in our plane of existence a little bit. That's why, God will open up people's spiritual eyes and show them, these beings manifesting here, because they do have bodies. They don't have physical bodies like we do. They have spiritual bodies. And so, yes, there are demons hanging out with people when they're walking around. There are angels guarding you when you're going out and about. There are spirits that are kind of neutral and in between that like to hang out too. Listen, I'm a seer. God has opened up my spiritual eyes. I had my whole awakening, man, like a prophet out here. I was stepping out. God took me through a process, waking me up to the spiritual realm. Blowy, get down. But he did a whole process where he woke me up to the spiritual realm and taught me that spirits exist. Spirits are real, and you need to know that, because he's coming back soon. Okay, I don't care whatever side you're on, whatever you believe in. The mark of the beast system, they're working on that. There's a reason that you have to hold your phone up for your little Google Pay, Apple Pay. You have to hold your card to the scanner instead of instead of use cash, instead of use coins anymore. Because at some point they want to go from using your card and using your phone to using your wrist, getting your forehead scanned. So you can't buy or sell unless you have the mark. There's a system that they are unveiling, and when that system comes out, it's going to be tribulation. And after tribulation, it's going to be Christ coming back. And he's going to be rematerializing here. And first, they'll start with the demonic regime. Satan's going to have his antichrist and his demonic regime here on this earth. That's just how it's going to be. That he's going to use CERN, he's going to use technology, man-made, man's mind. He's going to use that to manifest himself here. He's going to use that to strengthen his ability to be here. And so he's going to rule, and he's going to have his demonic regime. And then Jesus, with no technology, none of that necessary, because he is a Lord, a very powerful God, he's going to come back here all on his own and slay the Antichrist with his own. He's going to manifest for himself. People don't realize that this is coming soon. This is just an inevitability. You know, this is just the inexorable fate that is playing out before our very eyes. And if you are not spiritually awake, you're going to get swept aside. You're going to get swept in the tide of the beast. If you're not tuned in, if you're not praying, if you're just not on a level of enlightenment, of Christ consciousness, where you're paying attention to the spiritual shifts that are going on, you're going to get swept under the current. It's just how it goes. You know, it's like if you don't, there's a spiritual battle going on at all times for our souls. There are these false gods that like to impersonate being good, but really they're just after the pleasure of being evil, that like to torment people. And if you're not protected, these false gods are very powerful over material. They're very powerful over affecting your mind. They're very powerful over affecting our fates. And they can determine for you, they can possess you, they can make you theirs and control and conquer you if you're not paying attention. These demons like to be gods too. You know what I'm saying? It's all in all, this is a very dangerous world. And if you're not awake to the spiritual war going on at all times, you are in for a hell to come. Now listen, I will acknowledge ignorance is bliss. It is very, very, very difficult to go through that spiritual awakening. For me, it's I don't know the full scope of things, and it's still been a very rough process. You know, the spiritual awakening is no easy process to go through. It is rough, and you'll miss not knowing, but you'll be glad to know in the future. When the future comes and things get rough, and you're able to foresee these things, when your spiritual gifts start to come in, that's when you'll really start to appreciate it. You know, listen, I'll put it to you very simply. I have a video called "You Can Be the One." This is just a simple mathematical truth that everyone can represent the positive one. No one is barred. That's why it says in the Bible, John 3:16, God made it so that anyone who believed in him could be saved, could have eternal life. You know, there's the eightfold path to enlightenment. If you're a Buddhist, it's like anyone can choose to align their life toward the greater oneness. Anyone can choose to become the one, so long as you have the diligence and the will and the power to fight against the negative ones who are going to try and force you to be negative like they are. They're going to try and force themselves on you. They're going to try and not only tempt you, but get into your mind and change your mind for you. Listen, you're a spirit in your mind, right? You're a spirit in your body. Other spirits like to try and inhabit your body with you and affect your brain and try and force your brain to think in evil ways. When you recognize that there are spirits all around you at all times and you're just one, it helps to have an army like the army of God with you. It helps to be on a certain cognizant level where you're, because you can battle against them, you can stay strong. You know, it's like you're not the only spirit that's trying to inhabit your body. Other spirits are trying to inhabit it with you, and other spirits are trying to control you with you. It's just how it is. So listen, at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we are awake to what's going on and that we are going down this process of trying to be more awake than we were before to what is going on in the spiritual world. Because we have a third eye. We have an eye that can perceive this world. And spirits like to take advantage of the fact that we're not paying attention. I mean, I'm talking about molestation. I'm talking about, making you eat things that are actually very contaminated, spiritually contaminated, spiritual disgusting. You know, when you're eating a regular meal, they're transforming that spiritually. Again, there is a realm of antimatter that overlays and that is interlaid with our reality. And there are all these realms of antimatter that are basically just like our realms, are just as solid and just as real, if not more. Ask anyone who has had, a heaven testimony, anyone who's had a hell testimony. You'll see for yourself, these realms are real. They are just not made of matter. So we go like, they must not exist in our human hubris. Listen, they're very real. And the beings that exist in those realms are also very real, and they intend on invading this realm, okay? And if you're not on the winning side, if you're not on the right side of things, you're going to be on the losing side of things, or you're going to be caught up by the losing side of things and forced to serve them. Listen, it's just the awareness. Y'all got to wake up to the truth. Y'all got to start paying attention to the fact that we live in a reality that's ruled by spirits. It says Satan is the God of this world in the Bible. Just like Yahweh is the Lord of all that is, Satan's trying to be Lord of all that is. And with his beast system, he's going to try and force the whole world to become that which only worships him. He's going to try and force the whole world to become that which is solely purposed on the aggrandizement of that which is evil and worshiping evil as good. In the Bible, it says, woe unto those who call evil good and good evil, those who call sweet bitter and bitter sweet, those who call light dark and dark light. Woe unto individuals like this, because there is a difference, and the Satan's going to try to erase that difference so that people just worship evil as good, as though he were God. And that's what's coming. He's going to program all people to worship him and program all people to be one and unified. It's just, listen, everybody wants to rule the world. He wants total domination of this place. And at some point, he's going to put that plan into effect. And then the equal and opposite reaction is going to happen. Mathematically speaking, God's going to establish his permanent reign, and the equal and greater if we're really thinking about it. So, listen, that's all to say, you got to wake up. You got to be aware. You got to start to rise to a level of cognizance of what is really going on around you. If you pray to God, if you pray to Jesus, ask him to open up your spiritual eyes. Same goes if you're a Buddhist, you know what I'm saying? I'm personally of no particular religion, but I'm just trying to make sure that I'm aligned with the winning side. I'm aware there is a Yahweh, God of all gods, that's chilling up in the highest heaven. I'm aware that there are gods that are below him. I'm aware that there are demons and there are different devils. All these mythos, these are real beings, but they are not all true. So you just have to keep that in mind. And so whatever path you're going down, I tell you that you must be aware that there's a spiritual war. You must be aware that the war between Yahweh and Satan is going to start to really show up on this planet. And you have to be aware that if you're not on the right side of things, on the righteous path, on the path that's leading you towards being a good person and against being an evil person, you're going to get swept away by evil. It's just going to happen like that. So that's my message to y'all. I hope that y'all received this. I hope that y'all, got something from it. Got some education from it. A lot of people don't understand the thing about antimatter and that these beings are not made of physical matter. The reason we can't perceive them is they're a whole different material entirely. They're antimatter. And our eye, our spiritual eye, our ability to recognize what is in our existence, the antimatter in existence, has to be opened by one of these spirits or through a gateway like psychedelics, drinking alcohol, swanking on spirits, so on and so forth. Essentially, y'all, gotta wake up. That's just the truth. All right, I hope that this video educated you, and I'm very, very glad and very grateful that y'all tuned in, especially if you tuned in all the way to the end. Take care, and have a great rest of your day, night, or whatever you're having. Peace.